All right, YouTube and Spotify, welcome back. We're here for another TPP podcast. This week's guest is WinterNights25. Welcome her.
Hello.
Little fellow. But yes, she is eating currently, so her cam will be on after she's done eating. So you can see the lovely icon just go up, go in like vibe, like a Discord thing currently. So Faye just went to get her food, but she's coming back right now too. So here's Faye at the moment. So welcome back, Faye, to the.
I won't say anything.
Yeah. All right, I think the audio settings, everything's good. We are using Stream Together, but sadly enough, Winter is no longer on Twitch. She's on Kick, so make sure you check her on Kick, same URL, kick.com/WinterNights25. So yes. All right, so we are here. Let me make sure we get started. So every podcast we start with the typical update, and Winter has been on the podcast for a while. But Winter, what has been new with you?
What's new?
Yeah.
Nothing really. Just trying to get back into streaming pretty heavily and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, hey,
Kids,
Rachel.
cats.
Yep.
Kids, cats, all that.
It's all the standard stuff. Nothing
Yeah.
particular. Getting back into streaming. Okay. But where can people find out usually? Where are you going to be? What platforms are you on?
I'm pretty much on all platforms. I don't do Twitter, but I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Kick. I just canceled Twitch, so.
Yeah, so every other platform, but Twitch and all the same username, WinterNights25. So universal all around. But yes. All right. So.
Hi, Heartbreaker.
Yep, that was Rachel.
Rachel.
Hello. So yes. But yeah. That's where one. But what is so? Just recap, Faye. What's been going on since the last time you've been here? Okay. She's never ready for this question.
I wasn't ready.
Okay, so I'm a little bit of a hermit.
Okay.
So like I go out if somebody explicitly invites me out, and that is about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything else is just I'm literally falling apart.
Oh. Is it a?
I get that. I understand.
Yeah.
What was that, Faye?
No, I'm just like, well, falling apart as in.
Well, like currently my jaw's dislocated.
Oh,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
God.
that would be a good one. That would be one, generally.
What happened? I mean, if you.
It's just my joints don't like being where they're supposed to be, and this time it was my jaw, which is a new one. It's usually my hip or my shoulder,
Oh, no.
sometimes my knees. But yeah, so I woke up and my jaw was not where it's supposed to be, and I haven't been able to get it back in place. So if I'm a little quieter than usual, that's
Yeah.
what it is.
No problem. Let me check this, make sure sounds are good. Oh yeah, everything's still good. Just scrolling, but Poppy's like, what the heck? But yeah, your jaw can be dislocated, you know? Things happen. Okay. Oh, camera, move me in the other spot. There you go. It's literally like track my face in the right area. But okay, so just normal face stuff, hermit, jaw dislocation. All everything else pretty the same. Okay. So I do have some news. I told some people, so if you don't know, that I have finally unemployed again. Yay!
Yay.
Yay.
I'm so proud of you.
So yeah, it's interesting though. It was not necessarily one that went through like a rigorous interview process. I did talk to them maybe once or twice, but it's for a vendor that I used to work for, support them as their vendor. So I'm on the other side of it, if that makes sense. That's where it's Health HIE, but they were like, they were going to give me content, or not content. They were going to give me contract work, but then they were like, no, not contract. We're going to give you a full position. So I start on April 9th. So I'm back in the workforce again. So yes, more clapping. Oh, so yeah,
So many people in your chat are like, oh, but say me. Sorry, I'm just my people. Hi.
Yes, there's other people that also, yes. But yes, so that's the big news. Also, Faye, you didn't see it. I did an adult thing. You know what adult thing I did?
What did you do?
I bought a timeshare. It's such an adult thing to do, apparently. Yes.
Why?
Wait, I don't know. It's a good deal. Winter was there. She'll be like, yeah, it was a good deal, right?
It was. It really was a good deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
So, how much research did you do before you bought this timeshare?
Not much. What is okay? Go ahead.
Zero research.
Let me hear. Let's go.
So timeshares are kind of like a known scam because they lure you in with these really good sounding deals, but then like every time you try to say, hey, I want to use it, they say, oh, you can't that week because it's booked, and they just like, you can never actually use the place.
Oh,
So
see.
please read the fine print, and also good luck.
All right, thank you.
Hopefully yours is not, but a lot of them are scams.
Okay, we'll see. We will see. Well, yeah.
My fingers are crossed for you.
Fingers crossed. Thank you. But yeah, so we'll see. I mean, I mean, the terms and deals. Yeah, we'll see. We'll have to see once we get started, and see if it actually is bookable. But you're we're correct on one thing. They said that we can get a free week, but you would have to. It's the 36th week of the year. That's the 1 week they kind of like put us in. But we'll see. But you have the ability to use it on different.
Honestly, if they say, hey, every year on the 36th week, it's your week to use it, and they stuck to that, that would make them more honest and more usable than almost every other timeshare I have ever heard about. Like, there are entire documentaries.
Oh, yeah.
Please go watch them.
Okay, we'll watch. I will go watch.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for being the damper.
No problem. So thanks for Rachel for stopping. So like a timeshare is like a location where you kind of invest in like a property there, but you're not necessarily owning like an actual physical thing. So it's like a spot. So then typically you would be able to book it ahead of time, saying you're gonna come up, and then that week you have it. It's free. Any other week would be like standard like $2.99 for that week. Then the network of it is, it's like literally you can book it in different locations across the world, and there are a network of resorts, so that you have to book it ahead of time and also book it, you know, like, and then they expand the cruises. So but yeah, it was a lot of information for one of us, and like the numbers just kind of seemed like to be very good.
That sounds convoluted even by timeshare standards. So traditionally, Naomi, the idea of a timeshare is that instead of one person trying to buy a house, you have like 6 to 10 different families all put in a portion, and then there's like a management company that's part of paying for it, that you pay for the management company to basically do scheduling, and then y'all all share in the vacation home, so that not one person is having to pay the full cost of that vacation home.
I do have a question. Where can I find this documentary about timeshares?
So when I saw the documentary, it was on like one of those like documentary channels, like History Channel or something like that. So I don't know where they would be now. I would be happy to find some for you, but in this day and age of streaming, I have not searched out one of those.
I'll take a look.
So, but I'm sure I could find at least. I know I've seen at least 3 different ones when cable was still the predominant thing. So I know they're out there.
Okay, I'll take a look. But yes,
I'm huge into documentaries, so.
She is, as you say by one of the questions tonight, she is huge into those. Reason why we're talking about it, because she is huge into the documentaries. But yeah, all right. So that's again the update where we're at, and what's going on, and that unemployed. I could even talk about that, man. The archers of like 3 months of unemployment and going for interviews and then being ghosted, or being in fact told that we're gonna move on with someone else, or have 6 interviews and then not hear a single bleep after 6 people. Okay, correction. Not 6 interviews, 6 people over 3 interviews. But yeah, it's a very like, how do you describe it?
Waste of time?
Waste of time, yeah. So, but I'm excited to get back into it. They're sending stuff out to me. I already got accepted. The offer is pretty much comparable to what I was doing before, so everything is good in the world. So yes. But all right. But beyond that, that's kind of the updates. Kind of move into our first topic, and the first topic is a video game session. So like, what is your current game you're playing? Why it's so good? Why should other people play it? And like, even like, just to kind of like focus on the bigger picture of like what people are currently doing on Twitch. Last when I looked this up, So like Grand Theft Auto 5 comes on there, League of Legends, Valorant, Counter Strike, and then I think Grand Theft Auto 5 is predominantly roleplay, but like so that's like the current topics out, like the current categories they're out there. But for you guys, what are your current sessions? We'll start with Faye, if Faye is on.
So I haven't had a ton of time to play games recently because I've been working extra hours. And like I don't want to count my things that I'm streaming. So I guess the only game that I'm really playing is God, go ahead and make fun of me. I like cozy games. There's a game called Cozy Grove.
Okay.
And the best way I can describe this game is if Animal Crossing and Don't Starve had a baby.
Don't start with that. Okay. I can see that.
So it's similar gameplay loop of Animal Crossing, you know, your coziness,
Right.
but it has a very similar art style to Don't Starve. And
Okay.
instead of like cute little animal villagers, it's ghosts. You have to.
That
You're a
sounds
little
really
spot.
fun.
It is so cute. You have to help the ghosts. They don't remember their lives from when they were alive, so they don't know why they're ghosts. So your gameplay loop every day is doing quests for these ghosts, and as you help them do these things, they slowly regain memories, and then the goal is to help them understand why they're ghosts so that they can move on.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Is it taking your time up when you're not streaming, right? Because I don't think I've seen you play that at all.
Yeah, I don't play it on stream because it's only like, I mean, as you progress further, you like, just like with Animal Crossing, you get more ghosts as you go, but instead of you like getting a new villager every day, it's based on how much story you have done, so they kind of like don't overwhelm you. So, but you only have like, currently I only have like 30-ish minutes of like actual content that I'm doing every day, unless I just want to spend hours fishing, which I mean you can do, but I don't have that kind of attention span.
I see people just do that too, just like, I'm just gonna go fishing, and just like literally, that's all they do.
Yeah, I mean, I can do it for like 10-15 minutes where I'm just like, I'm fishing, but after a while it's like, it's repetitive.
Yeah.
So
me too.
I get bored, my ADHD kicks in, and then we're done with that.
Makes sense.
But
Winter,
for the content
you're
that's
fine.
there, sorry,
Yeah.
just
Okay.
for the content that is there, it's great.
Okay,
Winter,
there you go.
sorry.
So
No,
Cozy
you're
Grove. But yeah, all right, Winter, what's your current session right now? Yeah, I didn't know this. But
It's I
let's-
wouldn't. It's not like it really changes very much, but Call of Duty, pretty much.
Nice.
I did get into the supermarket simulator for like a week there, like really heavily, but it's just got repetitive, like she was saying, just doing the same thing on repeat over and over again, and it just lost the appeal.
Yeah.
So is it repetitive in the way that like the Power Washer Simulator was repetitive? Because like I know that game's repetitive,
So
but the way I was obsessed.
I've never played the Power Washer Simulator. This was actually the first simulator that I played. You know, when you first start, you have to run the cash register. You have to get these items. You have to get licenses. You have to hire employees. You have to do all these things. And then once you have all these employees, you're stuck stocking the back room, the storage. So you're and it was just, you have so much stuff to stock up that's all you're doing. It's just stocking the back, and it got old really fast.
You should play Power Washer Simulator.
I think I told her about that, didn't you? She's like,
Yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared because
Yeah.
I didn't think I would get into that game like I did, and I went hard.
Yeah, I played that with Faye. Faye just like, she's like zones in, just like, like literally one section,
If
and then
you-
like,
Yeah, if you have any level of OCD-ness where you're like, I'm gonna just focus in on this one area and make it
Yeah.
perfect. But it's like great for it's also is great for my ADHD, because if I
Right.
got bored of that area, there was a different area I could go clean and
Mhm.
still be playing my game. And then like
Yeah.
each level is so unique that you're just like, what and how? And there's actually a story.
Oh,
It's
really?
subtle. Yeah, it's subtle.
If you blink, you might miss it.
It is so subtle, but if you pay attention, it starts off with just like, oh, you're like learning, like, because every job you get a little blurb about the job from the person
Right.
hiring you, right? And at first, like, a lot of people skip it, but I read that shit. So at first you're just learning about a couple people in town, and then like like occasionally you will hear little people talking about rumors about like the mayor's cat missing, and as you go to all these jobs, you keep seeing cat paw prints. You're like, okay, so I'm basically following this cat. And then like just things get weirder and weirder, and then there's like by the end there's just like fucking aliens.
What? How did they get that far?
If you pay attention, it makes sense.
Makes sense. Okay.
It makes sense if you've been paying attention to the story. They actually like it progressed to that. So yeah,
that makes sense. But yeah, so I know that because I know Winter plays mostly Warzone all the time, so that's been their current obsession mostly. My obsession, I feel like it's still because I do stream it, but I do it off stream a lot just to like check the hideout, make sure that I can get this Tarkov. But Tarkov has such a very intricate like inventory management system, and then there's like a hideout that's doing stuff while you're not online. You have to go in, do stuff like all the main missions. I do kind of save it for streaming because it's the content essentially is that. But then scavving is kind of like going in as a scav where you don't really have anything to lose, and whatever gear you have is what you get. But then it's like the going after someone who's like a player or PMC, which is actual person with real good loot, killing them and taking that loot and just walking your way out as fast as you can, trying not to die at the same time, is the adrenaline rush of that game. Because like the Winter could also probably understand that too, right? It's like getting all that gear, getting surviving, and then leaving while have that gear. Because she's how do you describe it? A loot hoarder. So like she wants all the loot.
I'm a loot goblin.
That's me. That's right. Yeah. So. But yeah, typically that's been my off.
But I feel like it's for good reason. I feel like you're gonna need these things in the future.
Oh yeah. It's always gonna be important to need these things for something or another. Yeah, good.
Winter obviously subscribes to the notion of better to have and not need than need and not have.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or I completely understand that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's been my kind of obsession offline. But it kind of makes me wonder because like. The bigger categories are kind of literally like, as you can see, Grand Theft Auto is roleplay. So roleplay, I can see the appeal of people obsessing over that because you're watching another person try to play it live. And Winter also, did a little dabble into roleplay. So that's always very, I describe it, content heavy. I imagine. Yeah. So like, I can see that being a session for people. But then I feel like, I don't know. I know we have some League of Legends players in chat because I think Naomi does League, but I feel like that's kind of like a leveling up system per se, and like a lot of people play League just to like go through that exercise of getting there. But yeah, Valorant though, I don't know because it's a shooter game. Shooter games kind of like have that kind of like hit or miss, like Apex or Valorant. You can see just people just going through it, and like those are in quick bursts. So yeah. But yeah, I think there's sessions for anyone. It could be anything at the time. It could be like a current game session that's coming out, like Helldivers 2. I've been obsessed with also off stream because like it's just like co-op-y and like you can play with friends and do all the things to try to like survive. It can be very chaotic because all the bugs and everything is trying to shoot at you and try to kill you and murder you. You just turn the lights off. There's a redeem no one ever uses. It's to turn the lights off. So in the podcast, I turn off for a good like 10 seconds and it's like, did my power just go out? Yeah. So it's a good way to scare me during scary game days, I'm telling you. But yeah, so that's the current sessions. So any video game session currently people are playing, could be from Pal World to like any other game. There's a lot of them out there. So find your session, is what we're saying, and then enjoy it, because it's only going to be around for so much until you get done with it and go to something else. All right, so we are section of this time podcast is typically the Ask Me Anything question. I did put Winter up first, and Winter does her homework or anything. I don't think she does either, but
I totally did my homework.
Oh, so what is your AMA question for the panel?
I don't know.
That's their answer. I don't know.
I like Winter. Keeper.
Well, there you go. Do you have anything they want to ask or no?
Come back to me on that. We'll come back
Ty,
to
why
this.
don't you put yourself first?
Yeah.
Oh, what? Going myself first? Let's see.
Mhm.
Yeah, you should.
Oh,
you
do
should
you
put
have an
yourself
AMA question?
I can come up
Mhm,
with one.
mhm.
Put me on the spot like that. Yep, his podcast is today. But yeah. Well, alright, so let me ask you this. 'Cause I don't know if Faye I've ever asked Faye this before, maybe, I don't know. But if you had a video game, let's say a video game that you could go back and play without, for the first time ever again,
Oh, I know this answer.
what would you do? So start Faye.
One sec. Which drawer did I put it in?
Oh, she has it.
Oh, she actually has the physical. Is that the one? Which one's that?
It's called Threads of Fate.
Okay.
It's a Squaresoft game back when Squaresoft made games that weren't just Final Fantasy.
Okay.
And it is my favorite video game. But it's really interesting because when you start the game, you pick one of two characters to play as and you go through the story, and it makes sense. Like, the story is complete and makes sense just going through, but if you go back and you pick the other character and play through the other, there are so many little points that like fill in just kind of moments where you're like, wait a second, what? And then you finally see it from the other character's point of view of what the fuck was going on, or like there are characters that knew both of them that at no point did you realize knew both of them, which just makes things so much more sinister. So, but it's if it's a PS1 game, it's very old, but it is so good, and I wish I could play it again for the first time.
There you go. Winter?
Oh, for sure, Conan Exiles. So Conan is PvP. Well, you could PvE too, but I definitely chose PvP. I like playing against other people. You get on a server, you build pretty much whatever you want. Like, they have so many different DLCs for decorations. Like, I built mansions, castles. I mean, all over Conan. The grind was real, but I think my favorite part of all of that was the group of friends in that I had. But yeah, that would be mine that I would go to.
Gotcha. Cause saying ARC, Poppy saying N64. But yeah, I feel like I would probably. I think it's like I'm trying to figure it out. Also Minecraft for Poppy. Okay. So what I would go through and play from the maybe the Final Fantasy 3, which is like the first Final Fantasy game that I got into, where the started the whole Final Fantasy storyline and everything. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you mean Final Fantasy 3 in that it was called Final Fantasy 3 when it was brought over to the US, or do you mean actual Final Fantasy 3? Because those are two different things.
Oh.
Because the Final Fantasy 3 that got called Final Fantasy 3 when it came over was actually Final Fantasy 6.
Possibly? I have to double check this now. Sorry, I'm a little hungry and I don't want to grab food and eat on camera, but I don't need to bring this. So.
I have a pizza next to me that I have been scared to eat because the camera's there.
Oh, well, if you want to turn your camera off, it's fine. You want to share? It's up to you.
What? How do I do this?
No, how do you do what?
Recommended? It's when I turn the camera back on, show guests on stream with browser sources.
Yeah, we can see you.
No.
We can see you
Yeah,
now.
we see you fine.
Okay, good,
Yeah.
good.
Okay. But I think you're right. It's probably Final Fantasy 6 when I went to the US. Or Final Fantasy 3. But I had it on SNES, the first game that I played long enough that was like very story driven, and I would go back and do it again from the beginning if I had a chance to go back and play it again. But yeah, I feel like this is a thing, like you never, like the only time we even ever go back if they remake it, because that's the only time I feel like you can go back and like play like any game per se. Oh, Jesus.
Says who?
Wait, what do you mean? Well, like, if they remake it or redo it? I don't know.
You only go back and play your old games if they redo them? You don't play them in the original format?
Oh, I could. Maybe I'll do one day. I'll do the, like, a little retro.
Okay, so I might be a bit of a nerd here. One sec. I have a drawer of old video games here.
Okay, I feel like you're in a room with friends, though. We're all nerds, I feel
Yeah.
like.
So, like, PS1 game. And then the original Final Fantasy VIII. I've replayed this one twice since I got this copy, which I was super excited about. And then this game I have 2 copies of, because the first copy that I got, where did it go? The other copy of this is trash because it's Square Enix and not Squaresoft.
Yeah.
And there's a whole thing with that. When Enix bought Squaresoft and merged them, they like lost the source code for a lot of the old Final Fantasy games. These 2 specifically, I know. So if you play the Square Enix version, it's like not polished. It's like one version back, and that's also the version that they use to port to the phones. So all of those errors are on the phone version, and that phone version is what they use to port to all of the PC ports and all of the like console ports that Enix put to. So every single one of them is broken.
Oh, damn. Okay.
So the only way you can play the game as it was actually intended is if you find the old PlayStation copies, specifically Squaresoft. They're worse in the modern versions.
Oh, damn. I have to go back and think about this now. Probably will see if I can pull it on, because I think now would be like mostly on an emulator, but we'll see, because I don't even have a
Even with emulators, you'd have to be very, very careful, because not everybody is aware of the issue, so they might not notate which version it is. And some of them are, some of the issues isn't too bad, but it's kind of quality of life annoying things, like you'll be in the overworld and you get into the random fights. And when you come out of the fight, instead of the music picking up from where it left off, it starts back over. And with how often those random fights happen, you basically just hear the same 10 seconds on a loop. They also are no longer omnidirectional. So like in the PS1 version from Squaresoft, you can go in a smooth circle. Okay. But that is now, it's on the like just the cardinals and diagonals. It's very like, it just feels janky when you try to play the Enix version.
Gotcha. I'll have to see.
I've never played any of them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I know.
Final Fantasy is kind of like one of those things where it's just like, it's probably like totally outside your realm because it's like story based. And
it absolutely is.
Yeah.
It's very story based. If you don't care about story as much, then it's not going to be your jam.
Yeah.
Because Winter's more like the not want to fight somebody.
Right. I want to fight people.
Yeah. So that's like the interaction of some people that have to particular games.
That's what got me into gaming, was fighting people.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Great. That's like more power to you. I can't confront my way out of a paper bag. So
I've seen you do pretty well on Demonologist with the shotgun.
Oh, you mean the co-op game where it's me, my friends versus the game?
Yes. That's true.
A totally different thing.
That's a totally different thing. That's true.
And most of my time spent there is just kiting.
Oh, that's true. That makes sense. But yeah. All right. So moving on to the next topic. Murder documentaries.
Oh, murder mysteries.
So,
love it.
So like, what fascinates about them? Because like, I feel like I kind of do. Like, I stumbled upon one on Netflix and I just started watching. I was like, what is going on? And I just kept watching it. And like, but literally, like, is it I don't want to stereotypically say that women prefer murder documentaries, because men probably watch them.
I definitely think it is.
It is unequivocally dominated by female fans.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So
I couldn't even tell you why. I literally couldn't. Like, it's just something.
I have a pretty good theory on it.
Okay, let's hear it.
We're all just trying to find out all of the creative ways that others have been murdered so that we don't get murdered.
That's a really good point, though. I mean, that's a good theory.
It is an absolutely morbid fascination because you want to understand every detail to figure out what went wrong and why this happened so it doesn't happen to you.
And maybe see the signs of if it's coming.
Did you guys, so the one I watched was, I think, on Netflix, and it was literally, I think, where, like, the person got kidnapped, and literally, they got released. So, like, that mirrors, like, Gone Girl to a T. So, like, the whole police authorities were like, "This is doing Gone Girl, it's your fault. You know, nothing really happened," and then like expands on that, and like the person that actually did it saying like sent it like I guess talked to whatever news outlet or something, were saying like it's true, it actually did happen, and the cops just like it was like total like what happened.
I never even watched the Gone Girl movie. I've heard it was good, but I've never seen it, nor have I seen any information on that documentary that you're talking about. I know you tried to get me to watch it, but really just haven't taken the time. I know TikTok, it has a lot of like murder documentary stuff like to absorb really quick. Like, so it's not actually like a documentary, but like, here's what happened. Bam, 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 bam. All right.
Yeah, the cliff
On
notes.
On
the cliff notes. What is your? Do you guys have a favorite one that sticks out right now that you remember? That's your favorite. Let's say the highest.
What's your favorite murder?
I do actually. Okay. I have an obsession with one. Tell me. Okay, Chris Watts case. Obsession. But my thing on the Chris Watts case, he killed his wife. She was pregnant. He had a mistress and also killed their 2 children, and put them in oil tanks. But I think my obsession with it really is his mistress, I believe, was in on it, but her dad was like, he was tied to law enforcement somehow, and when she was being interrogated, he was like, stop, no, you're going too far, and like they never actually pushed her to get anything out of her. And then Chris, he just was like, I'm guilty. It never went to trial. It never was looked into. And I fully believe she was in on it. So I think that's where my obsession with that case comes in. And it was just so horrific. But I don't know. It captures you.
There
are a bunch that come to mind. Like, I've watched so many true crime docs. So many. So like the Barbie and Ken case is one that comes to mind immediately. Oh God, I don't remember the husband's name on this. Do you remember, Winter? Do you remember the case where the husband? It's presumed that he murdered his wife. They don't think they ever found the body, but she had done videos like walking through her house, documenting her stuff because she was like leaving him.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
If I go missing, it's my husband. But so he was the prime suspect. He went to trial, but they never actually found her body. And then like because of him being on trial,
and then the DFAX case, This
is the one when they had the 2 sons. Yeah, so the kids were like in a foster situation, and then he was supposed to have supervised visits, and so the woman that was supposed to be their supervisor for the day is bringing the boys, and the boys, they're excited to see their dad, so they like jump out of the van and they run to the door, and the dad like lets them in, and then the dad shut the door in the social worker's face, and she's of course banging on the door because like it's supposed to be supervised visits and everything, and then the house explodes. He blew up the house with his
but not only that, but it's actually more horrific than that. He actually killed them with an axe and then blew up the house.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's actually worse than what you think. So whenever he closed the door, he took an axe to both the boys and then blew the house up.
Wait, which one is this? Wait, what's the case again?
I can't remember the names.
But
when you said
it is some white bread fucking name.
Oh, okay.
Like my brain is literally wanting to say Pratt was the last name, but then my brain's going Chris Pratt, and I'm like, no, that's an actor.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
It was a white bread name.
As we all look chat. Because we want to know what this documentary was.
Yeah.
Susan Powell was the woman's name.
Powell, yes.
Yep.
It was Powell.
Yep.
Powell? Okay. There was a Pratt one, but I guess this is not this one you're talking about. There we go.
I love how all you said for me to know what case you were talking. The woman that was documenting everything. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Is it like the details, like just like you guys are remembering the details because like the details are so elaborate that it just sticks out?
I make it a point to not remember the guys.
I don't either.
I hate to say this, most of the time it's a guy killing a woman. Like
Yeah.
almost every
Yeah.
single one is a man killing a woman. And I make it a point to not remember his fucking name because he murdered someone and he doesn't deserve to have
That-
a name.
Yeah, there you go.
So
Makes sense.
if I remember a name, which like I'm bad with names anyway, but if I remember one, I try to have it be who he killed, not who he was.
Makes sense. Makes
Yeah.
sense. Makes sense. But yeah, the one I was talking about was I think it was called American Nightmare, but it was on Netflix a couple of months ago. It's just interesting. I guess for me, it's a standpoint of like from A to Z, like why this happened, and then the progression for it. Because like it feels like it's like, well, like what was the motive? What was the reasoning? Why did this occur? And like you get the whole picture. You're like, oh, that's okay, and then it makes more sense. But just listening to you
So
guys,
does that
it's
make
like,
you? So does that make you want to watch more murder documentaries, or is that just like, oh, that was cool, and then move on?
Well, if I
Right.
get presented with one, I'm not like actively searching for them per se. But if you tell me one that they recommend me to one to watch, if they put in Discord, recommend or type, watch this murder documentary, I will go
Yeah.
and give it a shot for sure. But yeah, like I stumbled across because like it was like one of the trending ones. So I just like
Yeah.
was something to watch, and I was like, wow, this is actually more interesting than I realized. But yeah, like just like pop culture references, you know. But I don't. I'm
There's a podcast you might be interested in.
Okay.
And
what
it's
is it?
actually anybody who's interested in true crime stuff, you should check the
I
podcast. I
probably
want to
already listened to it.
probably Winter has already listened to it. It's on Spotify. I want to make sure I get the right name, so give me just a moment.
Okay.
Because I always slightly get it wrong. It's called Your Own Backyard.
You're on back.
So
there. Okay.
Nope.
The-
not that one.
the host is, I think he actually started off doing like audio for like the music industry, but he grew up in California in a small town, and the town next over had this like famous disappearance back in the 90s. Kristen Smart.
Oh yeah.
She was a college student that the distance between the last person who saw her and her dorm door is something like 50 feet. And
Oh, wow.
she disappeared before making it to her dorm. She never made it back home that
Oh,
night.
wow.
Oh, damn.
And nobody knew, like she was never found. And even now, she's never been found. So this guy somehow just kind of ended up obsessed with the case because it was so close to his, like he grew up, like he was a child, like single digits when the case was happening. And it got fumbled really bad. Like I think the police chief might be an elected position in that area. So like there was some politics happening where like people were trying to undercut each other and undermine the investigation so that they could get the most votes. And it was like some bullshit, like just
Most of the time it is.
yeah. So he starts going back through and trying to figure out, like, you know, just what was going on. He starts re-interviewing like her parents, their friends, her friends. He goes to the person that everyone's like, we think it was him, starts going to that guy's parents. He solves the case, guys.
Oh wow!
It-
Wow.
The podcast led to an arrest, and it was
they find the
mentioned
body?
over. No, they've never found the body.
Oh, they never have. Okay.
Podcast was mentioned over 100 times during the court case
Oh wow.
because it was that integral. Like he had people coming forward with tips that the original police never heard. Some of them saying some of them were saying, well, I tried to talk to the police and they just brushed me off and didn't want to hear anything, so I never got the chance. And some people were like, I didn't even know that this was a thing until I heard your podcast. Like, they're like, somebody I knew told me that to listen to your podcast, and then I realized that I knew something
Oh wow.
because I just didn't know.
Okay.
Super crazy. And like he even has he's not sure well, that's not true. He won't reveal the source, but there were people on the police force during later episodes who were feeding him information about the investigation because he was getting more people to come and talk to him than the police could ever get. And now the police were actually like, because about halfway through they actually reopen the case.
Right.
But people are still talking to him and they're not talking to the police. So the police actually start, like, there's at least one officer who starts feeding him information so that he can kind of start prodding people to get more info for them, because people still aren't talking to the police because of how bad it was handled the first go round.
Gotcha.
It's so good. And then at the very end, so like there's like a year where he's not like he stopped because the arrest was made, and then like when the court case happens, he starts up because even though he wasn't part of, like, he doesn't work for a journal or anything like that, but because the podcast was so integral, he had a press pass, so he got to cover the court case.
Oh wow. Okay.
So it's so good, but also just like the way he handles it is, how do I put this? He handles it with respect while still pushing, like when you need to push, he pushes. And
Right.
it's such a good like case study on how anybody can do this if you're just persistent and you know the right questions to ask and you're smart about it.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that's legit. I'll check it out. So from chat, Death Bear says Zodiac Killer. I'm gonna guess heard of that one.
I watched a lot on the Zodiac Killer.
Oh,
yeah,
Pretty much all
I'm
the popular ones, you know. You got the big names. You got Ted Bundy, Ed
Yeah.
Gein, you know, John Wayne Gacy, all of those.
Gotcha.
Super big.
Gotcha. All right. Cool. All right. So you guys in podcast land and where you're listening or watching this or Backyard Podcast, Zodiac Killer, and then any of those big names that we just mentioned. So come check out Murder Documentary if you want to be thoroughly entertained, as these two ladies over here have been really entertained by them. And then, you know, it's interesting. It's interesting for anyone, I think, to watch. Just like, but is it like human nature? Like, it's kind of like, how do you describe it? Like if we were driving on a highway and like a car accident occurs. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm bad about that.
Just kind of like
I mean,
what's
that
going
definitely
on?
is probably part of the reason why so many people watch. I think it's a combination of things.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's three things. I joke about, you know, we're learning how to not get murdered. That's a little bit of rubbernecking. And then also I think people are just fascinated to know what goes on behind the scenes of an investigation.
It's the morbid curiosity.
Yeah.
That's really, I believe, what it is.
Also, like I really like science.
Yeah.
So like I like learning the science part, like the behind the scenes parts, because a lot of people think that science can do so much more than it actually can. like blood splatter analysis has been debunked. It's no longer considered it's not considered like a hard fact thing anymore. Yeah. It's now considered circumstantial.
Oh wow.
It can lend credence to something, but it is not proof of something.
Okay.
Same with matching bullets from the same gun. It's circumstantial. It's not a hard science thing. I think hair analysis, where they like match the follicles and they say these are definitely the same. Nope. Again, lends credence to can be used as circumstantial, but cannot be used as a fact standing on its own. Now, again, if you have enough circumstantial evidence, then of course you can build a case, but like you have to have a ton of circumstantial evidence. Yeah. You can't just say, hey, we found your hair, therefore you are. But like there have been cases in the past that were tried on that and successfully, but now we know that's not actually how it works.
You know what I think Winter would love if you ever got a chance, and if they actually still exists, the CSI exhibit. Based on like the show CSI.
Yeah, I would love that.
Like,
that sounds like a great time, actually.
Just go around and seeing like different crime scenes and how they analyze that and such. But there you go. So if you're listening, you have something else to check out between our video game sessions to our murder documentary sessions. So more sessions going on there. But now we're back to another AMA question. So I just pick one of you guys now because I already went.
Hey.
Okay, all right. There you go.
This guy's falling tall.
Yeah. All right, Faye, what's going on?
Okay. Well, usually I would talk about like whatever game I've been obsessing over, but you kind of caught me off with that at the beginning.
Oh, there you go.
So thanks for that.
Oh, dang. These questions were put out a week in advance, folks, just letting you know. Okay.
He's lying. It's not true.
Oh, yeah. Or at least a couple of days ago, but yeah.
In my defense, you kind of changed it on me last moment.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear nothing about nothing,
Okay.
sir.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Okay, well, I am going to be going on a trip in like a week to see the solar eclipse.
Oh,
So, is anybody else going to see the solar eclipse? And what are your thoughts on astrological phenomena?
I think I remember trying this last year, and I looked up and like, I don't see anything. So I don't know if that's like based on where you are location-wise.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, it
that's-
absolutely is.
That's
Like-
something that I'm noticing a lot of people don't understand. There are some people that think if there's an eclipse, that certain areas always get the full eclipse, and that's not true. It's because, like, you understand what the eclipse is, like, right?
Yeah.
And then it's not me being patronizing. I just want to make sure
No.
before I continue explaining anything. Well, for anybody in chat that may not know, it's when the sun is here and Earth is here and the moon passes between. So the timing is very, very important on those, because when the moon passes between and where the moon is in the sky relative to where we are in our rotation will determine what the path of the eclipse is. And because we're rotating, if you actually look at the path, it's always a diagonal and it always goes in the same direction because we spin in the same direction. So it's going from
So we are
like
in the
upper
path
Midwest.
of totality.
No, we're not. Houston is not. San Antonio and Austin are.
No, I'm talking about
almost-
me and Ty.
Oh.
We're in the path of totality.
Oh,
Um,
where are you at?
Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, that one is. Yeah, because it goes from the northeast and it goes
Yep.
Oh, okay.
down
Like towards
San
Mexico.
Antonio, and then into the very west side of Mexico.
So we could see it. from where
Yeah,
we are.
we're gonna see it full on.
Please have the special. Please have the proper glasses.
Wait, hold on. Let me double check something real quick. I think I have it in my closet. 1 second. No. Faye, entertain.
Do not. This is a safety PSA. Do not look up at the eclipse without the appropriate glasses.
You'll
And I'm
go
going
blind.
to explain why. Yes, and people. But here's the thing: people will hear that and they don't believe it because all they hear is, "But the sun is covered." But yes, but no. So like, light is weird. And it doesn't go in a straight line necessarily, and it bends with gravity because it is a particle and it does have mass. So light actually bends around the moon because of the gravity of the moon. And while you may not notice it, there is intense particles of light hitting your eye. And then the second the moon moves off, that bending is going to get even greater, and it's going to be like shining a laser into your eyeball.
Yes.
Like one of those little pointer red lasers. Don't look at it.
Don't
You
look at it.
will lose vision.
Oh, you found them.
So yeah, so like the what was it? So these are the glasses. It has a date on these two. It's funny. It's August 21st, 2017, when the last time I looked at an eclipse. But yeah, and like literally, you know, it's silver. Like you literally, I did the thing. Don't do this thing though. We're like, I don't see. anything.
Don't
see anything. So
don't do that. Yeah. So it will get very, very dark,
Yeah.
and you might see like a ring around where the moon is. And that will basically be all you see when
Yeah,
you look at it at
basically.
first. But
I remember that too.
the glasses are mostly there to protect you in the moments right before it's fully covered and right after it's fully covered, because that's when the light is the most intense. And humans have terrible reaction time. So by the time you know the moon is moving out of position, you will have already lost a significant portion of your vision.
I am still, just to argue, I am still, I can still see. but yeah, I might have did that. I don't know. I like.
How much did your prescription change for your glasses after that?
Oh, I have no idea. No, maybe it did. Maybe I did this vision. I thought I was just getting older.
Just
saying.
saying.
Just saying. This, well, it was like 6 years ago when I had it, and it's been in that little like work drawer forever. So I still have them.
Did those have an expiration date, or can you like actually use those again?
Yeah, as long as they're not perforated, they're probably
they're
okay.
not perforated. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're still pretty. Nothing, no holes or anything. Yeah, should be work.
This will be the last time that anyone's able to see a total eclipse in the US for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
So if you are even vaguely interested, I don't know about different time zones here in Texas. It will be happening between 1:30 and 1:40.
Why does that happen? Let me look this up.
So check your time zones. But this
April
will be
9th.
Yeah,
April-
that's
I
why
don't know
know.
what time.
Yeah.
8th. It's a Monday.
Is it the 8th?
It's a Monday. That's the Monday. That's like before I start work. So that's the day before.
Yep, it's the 8th.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the 8th. It's a Monday. Do we have a time? Is there a time anywhere?
So you may not see the total eclipse there, Death Bear, but you will be able to see the partial eclipse because the path that I'm talking about is just the path of totality. And then the further you are out from that path, just the less of the sun will be covered for you because, like, I don't know how to explain, but it's kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
instead of being path of total, you'll be like over here.
Yeah.
Instead of getting this, you'll still
So-
see something. It'll still be cool. It'll be, but you won't get the total eclipse. And I'm not saying this is the last eclipse that'll come over the US period for the next 20 years. It'll just be the last one that has a chance of totality.
Gotcha.
Because eclipses are not actually very rare. It's just the total eclipse that's rare because it requires the three lining up perfectly.
So sequences for us 2 p.m. We'll start about 2 p.m. where the moon's orbits will travel in between the sun and the earth. 3 p.m. when the moon is covering most of the sun.
So like
watch for the-
3:30 when is when it's supposed to be total.
Yeah, so like 3:15 to 3:20 within the path of totality. So that will completely cover and the sky will darken, much like dawn or dusk for a short duration of the sequence. And then 3:20 to 4:30, it will reverse everything. So
And for anybody who's a lit nerd, I think it's Hamlet talks about a eclipse. They don't call it an eclipse, but the whole prophecy part where they're like, when it's night in the middle of day, it's a fucking eclipse. It was a total eclipse, and it set everyone on edge, and they went crazy and killed everybody.
oh, dang. Hey, we will be here watching the eclipse. So not anywhere particular because we're in the path up to Charlotte, but find your
Just
figure.
saying.
Just saying.
Just saying, for the people who can't afford or aren't close to the path of totality, NASA has a Twitch channel, and I bet you $1 to nothing they will be
You'll
streaming that
see
shit.
Yes. I'll be online somewhere.
NASA eats
sure.
that shit up.
Honestly, though, I wouldn't even want to travel, though. Like, there's going to be so many people, like, trying to travel to the path of totality. That's why they're calling in the National Guards and telling everybody, if you're in the path, like, go ahead and stock up on food and water because there's going to be so many people and resources are going to be so low. So,
Yeah.
honestly, I just don't think it would be worth it in the long run to even travel.
So I'm going up earlier in the week, the weekend with a group of friends, and like.
So where are you going? Exactly.
I'm going over to San Antonio.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's like a 3.5, 4 hour
That's not bad.
road. Yeah, it's not.
There you go.
It's not bad at all, but if I didn't have like friends who like they already had a place secured, like I got invited onto this trip that was already being planned by other people, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to join?" And if it wasn't for that, I would not be traveling for this.
All right. Well, there you go. All right, moving on. So this is part of the segment called the Faye segment. I don't know what your current obsession is now. What are you talking? What was something?
Crap.
She's like on the defensive because it's 2 segments in a row.
Yes. What the heck? Why would you do
Hey,
this to me,
I
Ty?
blame Winter because she kept turning her face.
It was not me. You could have asked anything else. You knew this was coming.
Yeah,
In all fairness, it's not my fault.
yeah, that's true.
Crap. So I actually kind of need a new obsession because I finally got Has Been Hotel out of my system. It took a while.
Hi, Duffy.
Hi, Deft.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm not
nothing
super
like
obsessed with anything at
Nothing
the
on the streaming
moment.
services. Nothing coming out. No. Crocheting still, or knitting, or what do you do?
I put my knitting project is currently in timeout because it's been too hot. And it's a lot of wool sitting in my lap.
Oh.
So it's in time. I'm going to take it on the trip though, because it's great for something to do in the car.
Gotcha.
So,
I don't have
not really watching anything. Like,
no, not watching anything. Okay.
I did. If anybody plays Final Fantasy 14, just a reminder though, the Easter event is ending this weekend. So like Sunday is the last day, and it has an adorable minion. It looks like these two won't know what it is. I don't know where Ty is on the screen.
Just playing like any other way. I'm not
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pink Gubu with a pink flower crown, and it's so ugly. It's cute.
I know what you're talking about.
10/10 recommend getting this if you have an account.
Yeah,
I did that last night, and the mini squeals were had.
Mini squeals.
Mini squeal.
It is so cute.
So cute.
One sec. Ty, I'm going to send you a picture of the so ugly it's cute, and then it is fantastic. I love her so much.
I see ya. Yeah. Alright. Oh, okay, so Final Fantasy Obsession. That's real shit. I mean, I guess you already talked about everything else that obsessive Cozy Grove in your off time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll find those later. I was gonna fix it, but I don't wanna add such scenes and it's gonna cause a really disruption. So I'll leave it at
Winter, the way the light is hitting your bed, and then all of the colored lights back there, I just need you to know that's magical, and I love it.
Thank you. I love lighting, like different light. My room has so many different lights in it. It's not even funny. But I have a whole curtain. I have a canopy bed. So I have.
I'm in love.
But I have curtains on both sides, and then I have curtains on the wall, and then I have a curtain light going all the way across it.
It is so magical. It looks like a unicorn.
I feel like a princess every time I go to sleep.
It is absolutely wonderful.
Well, there you go. Alright, but yeah, that's it. The Faye segment's really short this week.
Look, you took all of my other things that I would have been able to go on and on and on about and put them in different segments.
I did. That's my bad. Right.
Hey, but you know what I'm noticing because I'm looking at your list? There's not a Ty segment where Ty asks a question on here.
Oh yeah, I forgot to put that in. I kind of like Jimmy did. I did like
so now since mine was so short, we have time for that.
What? What do you mean?
I feel like she's right though.
Oh dang, you would go hurt. So like, what am I doing? What's going on with me or what? I don't know. What am I supposed to tell? See, this is what Faye goes through probably. It's like the panic sets in. It's like, what am I supposed to do about? Oh, yeah.
Turnabout's fair play.
Turnabout's fair play. That's true. Well, I mean, the one thing that I'm really excited for, and it's coming back, and I've been waiting for this, was Star Trek Discovery, the final season. So like, I'm a big Star Trek person, and the storyline is like they kind of set the golden age of Trek, because like Discovery came back, and then Lower Decks, and then like they started adding more shows, Picard. So like, for anyone who hasn't like like watched Star Trek ever, like they were getting a chance to experience it again. So the final season, they got one more season for Discovery coming back, and like their storyline, just to kind of recap, like it's like the ship that never basically existed, but then literally like gets thrown into the future and like is embodying everything from Star Trek ideals of like, you know, like new worlds, new technologies, new like storylines, new just like expanding on the world that when we watched Star Trek back in the day, where it's usually like a one spin-off like episode where it literally was like, you know, they did something and it kind of like was something new, or they encountered some alien or something happened to them. But now I feel like even the older shows now are like have like bigger stance like in like current events. Like even when COVID hit, a lot of Discovery was kind of dealing with like the kind of similar realm of like, well, what happens when everyone isolates? And like they had this event where it was called the Burn, where like warp capability was not possible, and then how would you connect all the different civilizations where they couldn't not travel as fast to get to one point A to point B, and they started to, so like that reflected in like, you know, COVID, like where people were restricted and they couldn't travel as much and they were contained in areas. So like how like shows are trying to just resemble like the current state of events these days, and like I feel like times like that maybe want to come back and watch more. But yeah, that's literally what I'm excited for coming up, because that I wasn't waiting for Star Trek to come back, because like it's been a lull between the.
Oh, thank you, Dad.
Oh, thank you for this.
Woo!
Oh, sorry. It's a subscription. I just like sure. Thanks, Cliff, for giving the
Take
subscription
me to
to Funky Town. But yeah, yes, but yeah, like the current like Star Trek genre has been like one of the things I'm waiting. I'm really sad when it leaves, but Lower Deck's still there. There's a new series that's coming out. Like Star Trek is like back in this golden era of more shows, and because like there's a point where like the last Star Trek show ended, and I was like, "There's no Star Trek. What am I gonna do?" for a while. So that's my current kind of like obsession of going through things. But before we head to the last segment, Winter, do you have an AMA?
I do actually.
Oh,
I
you
have
do
a good
have to,
one. I have a good
Oh, here you
one,
go.
guys.
Here you go. Here's a.
If you guys could choose what movie or TV show you could be in, like as your life, what would it be?
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's a good one. That is a good one. I'm trying to think. So that would want to be my life. So is movie or TV show?
Mm-hmm.
I don't. So now it's like, do you have one, Faye, or you go first?
I've got a few. I'm trying to whittle it down.
Whittle it down. Okay, yeah. Well, okay. So there's two shows that kind of stick out for me, and like the thing to be stuck in those shows, and the premise is like not what I want to happen IRL. Like literally, I would not want to ever say to anyone. But the first one I would think was probably Quantum Leap, but just because it's time travel.
Oh, that would be a
Yeah.
good one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like, but like the thing with that show, like the concept of like going back and just like fixing some event that went wrong and having to make it better, which I feel like everyone has that kind of like inner thought in their head, like, oh, what if I went back and changed this? How would my life progress and be better from that one moment? And like, I feel like that would be a show that I would, but I wouldn't want to be stuck. That's the thing. But Quantum Leap, the only reason why that show progressed so long is because he never made his way home. So, but each story after that was more intriguing than the last. Jeff Bear says Lord of the Rings. I don't know about that. Lord of the Rings. Yeah. Okay.
It's so tough to pick. Because, like, I'm assuming we're not taking the place of any main cast, right?
No, we would like pretty much be
Just like a random Joe Schmo on the sidewalk of any scene kind of thing at best.
right.
Well, I took main cast in my thing, but yeah.
All of mine have the same premise, and that I want to live in a world where magic exists and
Yes.
that you can learn it.
That makes sense.
Like, that's it. That's what I want.
I just
And
love
that's
There's
just,
some
there's
really
like
good
so
ones.
many. There's so many stories that
Potter.
encompass that, right? No,
Yeah.
no.
Too much
Potter.
going on
Too
over
much
there.
Potter. Well, what about the magicians? You guys ever seen that?
No, you're misunderstanding.
That's a good
I want one where any Joe
Anything?
Schmo can
Any just
learn
now?
it.
Oh dang. Okay.
I don't want it to be, oh, if you're born into the right family, you can learn it, because that's why Charmed
Yeah.
isn't on the list.
Alright,
I want
makes
it to be anybody who has the time to sit there and learn that shit. But I want it to be like trying to learn freaking like mathematics or physics. Like you gotta
Makes
put in the work.
What the word?
But if you
makes
do
sense.
it, you get to do crazy shit.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So Globe says,
But
just
my
for
brain's
magic
just
and
giving me a
sports.
book series and not like a TV
Oh, yeah.
show. My brain just
Cool.
keeps saying Discworld.
This world. Well, what is? Give us a little summary then, if we don't know it.
You don't know Terry Pratchett's Discworld? I am so disappointed.
Oh.
Okay. It's a whole series, and it really depends on what part of the series you're reading, because there are books that take place all over Discworld. But it is hilarious, and Terry Pratchett is a genius.
Mm-hmm.
Defty agrees with me.
There you go.
But like, there are the witches, and it's a small coven of 3 to cover, your maiden, your mother, your crone, and they're hilarious. There's the Unseen University for wizards, no women allowed, because women are witches. So wizards have to be like wizards have to be born wizards, though. You only get a wizard if you're a 7th son of a 7th son. But any woman can be a witch. She just has to learn how to be a witch.
What? Okay. Well, there you go. That works in your favor.
You guys chose really good ones.
Okay.
That's not where I was gonna go with mine.
Whoa.
I don't know. I think I would like to go back into like an era of like back in time where the ladies wore the big poofy dresses and you know what I mean? Like I feel like in the Bridgerton kind of era. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. I feel like that would be quite interesting.
I have a fascination with historical dress, so I know exactly what you were talking about.
There you go.
So good.
Yeah.
There's the 3rd season of Bridgerton's going to be coming out soon,
I know,
apparently, because it's
I
been all
know.
over my TikTok, and I'm just like, TikTok thinks I should watch this, because I haven't
There you
actually
go.
watched it yet, but I know about it.
It's pretty good, actually. I think you would like it.
And then definitely also recommend a movie, absolutely anything, where the main character gets zapped from space by a laser and is able to do anything with the wave of her hand. Which makes life so much easier.
So the Fantastic Four?
I guess.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's very true. But yeah. Alright. So the last segment for we kind of wrap it up. I know it's kind of like been kind of current events, so kind of I don't necessarily want to say specific politics, but the TikTok ban. So we know the TikTok ban already passed through the House, and
Yep.
like it's already kind of made its way there, but the Senate for at least about 6 months might not make it to law yet. So we're not in danger of losing TikTok, because Winter will be like, "What do I watch this? No TikTok." But
I feel so called out right now.
yeah. So
What will
but
Winter
yeah,
do with her life?
I just. But yeah, no, I just know Winter, so that yeah.
It's probably going to get passed because I have no faith in our Congress.
Same. I think it's gonna get passed too.
And I'm wishy-washy on if I think this will happen, but if the Supreme Court has any sort of integrity at all left, it will get struck down because it is actually an unconstitutional law. Because in the Constitution, it says that you can't make a law that targets a specific company or a specific person. And TikTok is mentioned by name in the bill multiple times, and therefore it is unconstitutional.
Gotcha. So if you
But
have
if
to
we go down
overseas-
that rabbit hole, that's not the only unconstitutional thing going
No,
on.
but that's the biggest one, and I think that's the only.
Yeah.
That's the one that's the easiest to argue, even to the
Yeah.
current Supreme Court.
Fair.
So you guys think that nothing's gonna happen anytime soon?
Oh, I
It'll
didn't say
be
that at
months
all.
down the. It'll be a few months, but I'm
They're
with
not gonna
Faye on
pass
this. I do think they are gonna ban it.
They're not going to pass
Yeah.
the ban until after the election if they're going to do
Oh
it.
yeah, makes sense. Probably.
Because
True.
anybody, every single, like, I think it's like every person in the House and then like half of Congress is up for re-election this year. So as it is, the House is already like in heaps of trouble because they passed it so fast and everyone's like, oh yeah, like we're just going to like vote them out then because
Oh,
but so
no.
Congress isn't gonna do it until afterwards.
Makes sense. So like, I think just like, I don't know, like I guess going into, let me see what I pulled up for that, but yeah, I feel like it's not gonna happen anytime soon. Like, there's a lot of hype going on about it, but then, did you guys even see? Because like, there's one TikTok where I guess saying Mr. Wonderful, we'll just randomly pass through it. Like someone would actually purchase the TikTok platform itself, but I don't feel like that's even probably even like less confirmed. than
Oh
anything
yeah,
else
no.
can.
So here's the thing. Okay, sorry, I've done some research.
Yeah, go ahead. What's your result?
So the way they've worded the bill is because they're trying to not make themselves take the blame, right? So they've worded it so that they say BrightDance either has to sell TikTok to a U.S. company, which is extortion, by the way, or the U.S. will ban it. Here's the thing: BrightDance legally can't sell their portions, and BrightDance doesn't own TikTok in full. They are majority shareholders, but like there are other people who own shares in TikTok. So like it's not even just taking from BrightDance, which is the Chinese company. They own shares. It's a publicly traded company, like just like fucking Facebook is.
Gotcha.
So their whole thing of like, oh, BrightDance owns them only in so much that owning shares grants you a vote, right? But after the last time the US pulled this shit about trying to force a Chinese company to sell, China changed their laws regarding technology and being sold to foreign companies. So BrightDance legally cannot sell their portions of TikTok without approval from the Chinese government. So they can't, which means they're not going to do the thing that the Congress is trying to force them to do because they legally can't do that. And therefore the Congress gets to be like, well, our hands were tied. We gave them a chance. We gave them an alternative. No, you fucking didn't, because here's the thing. The people in Congress know about this law. They have people that's their entire job is to know about this law.
Right.
They're just hoping that we don't know about this law. And now you do, because I've told you.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, may not happen anytime soon, but you know, it's one of the things that it's like on the current like rotation now, because I think it's a big thing going on at the moment. All right, so we kind of reached the end to like in the final thoughts of the podcast. We do this kind of every week. What's kind of making you giddy or happy per se? I don't know where to start this time. Do I go first this time? Because you guys been like, I go first.
You go first.
Well, I guess okay. Oh, there you go. But I think it's just this week I think was having just getting a new job. So because it's been a long time, I've been trying to get the new job and just literally having the call people or the email saying yes, we're offering you this. Such a weight lifted off my shoulders because like literally just going for interview after interview and like getting like denied or passed over or not ghosted. It's just so like it's been so like I don't know. It's
stressful,
like
so crushing.
Yeah, exactly. So just getting that kind of like relief and knowing that's on the horizon and going back into the workforce with steady flowing income and being insured, I can pretty much get to the point where you know I can move forward from there. So that's where I'm at. Winter.
Oh, me? What makes me giddy? So, I mean, I guess there's not really much going on. Like, I'm like Faye, I like to stay home. Ty knows this. I like to stay home a lot. I prefer it over going and doing things. But meeting all these new people on Kick I've made a lot of new friends and acquaintances the past 2-3 weeks, even the past month, and just getting to know all these different people and faces and all that's pretty exciting to me.
Nice. And Faye.
So, like, that's gonna sound super lame. My cat's been super snuggly recently.
Oh, no, that's not lame.
Like, it's been so cute. And she, like, even right now, he is sleeping under my feet, under the desk right now. So yeah, that's been my little simple joy this past month. Is just him being so freaking lovey.
There you go. Sometimes you just need that. Winter knows that because Winter has 4 cats and they roam around.
That's true. I love I have a little army everywhere I go. If I go downstairs, I have 4 cats with me.
I have 1 cat, but he's the size of 4 cats held together.
Oh my!
He's a 20-pound cat.
Is he a rag doll? I have a rag doll. He's literally the size of my torso. Like,
let's see.
It's huge.
I was comparing fatness, and then she's like, "No, these guys big."
Oh, that's a big boy.
Yeah.
He looks like Fat Boy and Salem mixed. Hold on,
yeah,
where's the fat? Let me go find the fat one. I'll be right back.
We're comparing cats. 1 second. 1 second, viewers and listeners. So describe it for you if you're listening. It's a black cat, really big. What kind of cat is?
I don't know what he is, honestly. I think he's part Maine Coon.
Okay.
He has the ear tufts.
Yeah. Alright, we're locating this cat. This cat could be any, and you can hear over the mic right now. ASMR for you, all you listeners out there. Might be clipping this late for ASMR clip, because that's gonna... Oh yeah. No, it's fine. I think, cats can make people happy. It's like our pets in general. Like even someone's dog, per se. It can sense, and I feel like cats, in terms of every cat I run into, cats usually like, just like, I'm just gonna run up and rub my hat on you because they like you, apparently. Yeah.
Or even the fact that he's letting me hold him right now. Like, my cat does not like to be held.
Oh really?
He lets me hold him because he loves me, not because he loves to be held.
Gotcha.
And he's been letting me hold him for longer. And when I go to bed at night, he is so excited about that.
Cat.
Oh, that is such a pretty cat.
Hold on. Let me struggle with this chair really quick. But yeah, he's Fat Boy.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, Fat Boy.
Yeah, yours is bigger for sure.
Visually smaller. Your cat's like half the size of my cat.
Is yours a Maine Coon?
I think so.
Yeah.
It was his name
He's
again.
a
I
rag
remember
dog.
it.
He's a big boy.
What is his name? It sounds like my tongue. What is his name again?
Which one?
Oh, your cat, Faye.
Monster?
Monster, that's
Oh,
right.
I love it. I'm gonna go, baby. Go ahead.
Technically, that's his nickname, but it works just as well.
Gotcha.
His other name is Ragna. He does know his names, both of them, though.
Oh, really? Ah, okay.
Yeah, but I usually refer to him a lot as my monster, and then he's Ragna when he's getting in trouble.
Oh, there you go. 2 names. Classic. All right, so just kind of summarize this week's podcast as you listen to the ASMR from Monster Purried into the microphone. Obsessions. So video games obsessions are good obsessions if you have those. It takes time to enjoy them while they last. But the obsessions can come and go. For murder documentaries, to check out some new murder documentaries, Zodiac Killer or any of the big ones that we mentioned, are the cases in, have fascinations of how people die. Sort of. This is kind of like the obsession podcast, apparently. But from I guess from what's going on, is Chris Watson someone? Winter's kind of chiming in. But yeah, and also the TikTok ban, social media is a big part of everyone's life. Don't know whenever it's going to go into effect, so you never know when it's going to happen. So just keep an eye out for that too. So, well, yeah, and then, alright, so wrap it up. Where do we find Winter? Right here, I'm fighting. Like, where do you stream? Where would people find you?
Oh, on Kick.
On Kick?
Definitely on Kick.
Let's go watch a quick random Twitch clip because
Oh
we
my
have access
God.
to those. I'm just like, no, which one they're gonna play?
Oh Lord.
Let's see.
Oh no. I can't wait
This
to see
is
this.
That's the Warzone clip, of course.
obviously. It's just like a random.
Is there random? Is there?
I don't know.
I don't know.
If you're gonna do anything for mine, please pick from the featured ones.
Okay, I'll take a go. Oh, that was a random one. I don't know. Alright, let me go look. She wants a featured one. Let me see.
Like if you're gonna show one of mine, those are the ones that are good.
Alright, 1 second. Well, look. I gotta go find one. I gotta get that link. 1 second, chat. And podcast land. There's a random Warzone clip. She has a. Well, you know, the option of clips, but that's the one I picked, apparently. I don't know what happened there.
Does Kick have does Kick have clips yet?
They do have clips, yeah. I think they're working on channel points. They don't have that yet.
Wait, where is this feature?
That's
clip?
one of the things that I know that they are there. Don't mess with me.
No, I got it.
I went through and picked all of the best ones, including when you got murked by a ghost.
Yeah, murked by a ghost. That was hilarious. Alright, shit.
That is still one of my favorite clips.
It's so random.
We were playing Demonologist and a ghost just said "fuck you" in particular to Ty. He wasn't even in the house when it killed him.
Yeah. Alright.
I don't think any of our stuff has gotten clipped there, Defty. Oh god, what was this?
That was the first one. It's a peekaboo.
I don't remember that at all.
It's peekaboo from Silver Chains.
I don't
just
remember
hear
that
in my
at all.
ears just hating that so much. That's all you're saying. I'm just
Okay,
like,
I'm okay. I'm okay.
saying just you're okay. You're okay. But there you go. So Twitch, Faye, when are you streaming next?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, winter. What do you think? Monday.
Monday.
So Monday. All right. So and we'll be back. I'll be back Sunday with Turtle. So we're gonna stop the recording here.